Yo, what's going on, everybody? GZTV back with another video. We're here to sorry, I'm like fidgeting with my comb. If you hear a noise, I mean, that's what it is. We are here with Dexter. We have season 6, we're with the opening episode, so, we're just kind of progressing through the show. We're obviously watching 3 shows right now. We're getting ready to end Beef here in the next probably week. Because, I mean, obviously I'm just flipping between the shows. This is the start of season 6 for Dexter. And actually, they have a Wikipedia article, so these videos aren't going to be as long. We have a better structure. So, Dexter is shown wreathing in pain. He calls 911 and requests paramedics for what he says is a stab wound. We all know that Dexter, when he kills someone, which we're assuming that's what he was doing, he's not going to let someone... Well, I mean, I think he just went out to the middle of nowhere and just said he got stabbed. So they could go out there and it was like a secluded area and he could do what he does. It turns out that it was all a part of his plan to trap 2 specific paramedics who have been letting patients die so that their organs can be harvested and sold for huge profits on the local black market, which is like extremely fucked up. And before they can be criminally charged for it, their life gets taken away. So, I mean, there is a lot of plot convenience in this show. Like, somehow Dexter isn't like caught doing any of this shit. I mean, he got really close last season with Deborah, but I don't know, I feel like if you kill like 200, 300 plus people, then something ought to like be found out about you. I don't know. People should catch on, but I guess that's just the point of the show, and once they do catch on, there's obviously no point of airing the show. Dexter then charges up a defibrillator and shocks each paramedic until they're both dead, which is really fucked up because usually he takes the merciful approach and just stabs him in the heart, but that was a slower death. A year after Rita's death, Dexter's life is back to normal, at least as normal as his life gets. I mean, he's not a normal person, obviously. He's a serial killer. Batista's sister Jamie has become Harrison's babysitter, and she takes care of Harrison whenever Dexter is away from home. So that's good. He's got that going. Sonia apparently isn't working with him anymore. I don't really know what the hell she's doing. I don't know what happened to her. Dexter and Deborah visit a Catholic preschool, which they plan on having Harrison attend. So it's cool, throughout the show, Harrison's kind of growing up, and now he's in preschool, so that's really cool. Back at Miami Metro, Maria LaGuerta is promoted to captain, which is, like, huge. I mean, everyone's just moving up, and it is revealed that LaGuerta blackmailed Deputy Chief Matthews, whose name was on a prostitute's ledger, to give her the promotion. Yeah, blackmailed him. So, obviously she wouldn't, like, rat him out, Kind of a fucked up situation there. Vince Masuka has taken up the responsibility of teaching a group of forensic science students, eventually hiring Ryan Chambers as his intern. I think Ryan is the girl? Or the guy? No, it was the guy. I thought the girl's name was Ryan, which, I mean, obviously that's not super unusual. But Batista and LaGuerta have divorced, but remain friends and remain doing favors for each other, work with each other. It's not like they hate each other or anything. Meanwhile, Dexter attends his high school reunion on the suspicion that the high school quarterback had murdered his wife, whom Dexter remembers fondly. She had been one of the few people to treat Dexter with kindness during high school, and is surprised to find himself getting along with his former classmates, with Trisha Billings, a very attractive woman who used to copy Dexter's answers in class, giving him a thank you in the form of oral sex, and that's fucking insane. Obviously, Dexter doesn't have anyone. He would have had Lumen, but she decided to go back to Minnesota. This was, like, too much for her to handle. Yeah. And so Dexter's obviously, like, he doesn't actually want to go to the reunion. He actually has, like, something he needs to do there, so that's why he's there. Trisha Billings is very attractive in the show. After obtaining the quarterback's blood and finding a perfect DNA match from the wife's murder scene records from underneath her fingernails, Dexter realizes his instincts were right all along. And obviously he wanted to justify him, like, plotting a murder against this guy. And he was right. This guy murdered his wife. So yeah, man, it was a girl that happened to be really nice to Dexter. Obviously, Dexter was kind of an outcast in high school, as you could assume, as you could have imagined, with, like, his upbringing and how he acts and all that sort of stuff. He later traps the man, is not impressed with his rationalizations for the murder, and kills him. Like, why did you do it? And he's like, oh, everyone makes mistakes. He's trying to give, like, this religious message. And it's honestly really interesting that he decides to give this message, because this episode's kind of, like, dealing with a lot of themes of religion. You have the Catholic preschool, and you have this guy, and yeah. Quinn prepares to propose to Deborah, only to be interrupted by a shooter in the restaurant when they go out to eat. And it's crazy. Quinn's taking really big steps to get with Deborah, and really wants to push this relationship forward with the proposal. Deborah exchanges fire with the perpetrator and then tackles him, making her a local hero. You know, obviously there were like bystanders on the scene, and they were videotaping it, and all was cool with that. This episode introduces the season's primary antagonist, Travis Marshall and Professor Galar, which we haven't even learned their names yet, but I guess Wikipedia, I'm using a Wikipedia article. I'm not even going to like sugarcoat it with you guys. I'm just like using that for the plot so I can kind of discuss it. Like, I don't remember every single thing that happened in the episode, so this really helps. Two serial killers who base their murders on passages from the Book of Revelation. They believe they have been chosen by God to bring about the apocalypse. Who the fuck? Some people have really weird religious beliefs. Like, who would think that God would want them to cause an apocalypse? They kill a fruit vendor, replace his intestines with snakes, and stitch him with the symbol of Alpha and Omega, and it's fucking insane. So yeah, like, just when you think the killers are getting crazy, it just keeps getting crazier and crazier for this show. People liked it. They thought it was okay. You know, obviously a B- on AV Club. Those kinds of things. Wasn't much of an episode. The opening scene was terrific, though. It was a bit disappointing to see that it wasn't legitimate in medias res, just the double execution of a pair of organ harvesting EMTs to establish that for Dexter. It's back to business as usual. He's back in the bachelor pad, which is now massive since he's purchased the apartment next to his, which is crazy. And obviously, the other apartment's probably where he hides stuff. 8 out of 10 on IGN. Those kind of things sets things up neatly, and right now Dexter and the major villains are in separate corners. At this point, 6 years in, this isn't landmark stuff, though. For everyone who's come in and out of Dexter's life, and whose somewhat disposable characters were supposed to play a role in his evolution, the Bay Harbor Butcher still seems mostly unevolved, especially considering all those who might feel that this episode is a return to form. Still, it's always a good thing when Dexter Morgan pops back up in our lives, and every new season comes scented with a lovely hint of macabre merriment. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Obviously, every season kind of has the same formula, and it gets kind of... It might wear out eventually, but I have a lot of fun watching it just because of the different storylines, just because of the different tropes they employ, and it always makes for an interesting show. So, yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That's all I have to say. We kind of had a short, like a smaller formatted video for this episode, but maybe episode 2 and forward, it'll be different. The other episodes I probably should have done in the same format. I don't really want to give you guys a 15-minute video on an hour of television. I don't think that's very just of me. But, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Fortnite stream sometime this afternoon. And then NBA recap, maybe another Fortnite stream tonight. And, yeah.